Welcome to About Seniors Talk TV. I'm Victor Oliveira, President of In Our Care Home Care Services and the host of this series. Today we're going to talk about preparedness for aging and the importance of having your legal documents in order well in advance of your aging years. Some things are just too important to put off till later. Should you become cognitively impaired as a result of an age-related disease or a vascular-related condition, it may be too late to do it then. While you're healthy, intact, and aware of what your wants and needs are, that's the time to get things sorted out, put it down in a document, and make it legal. No one knows that better than my next guest. She's the CEO and co-founder of Silver Sherpa, Inc., and is passionate about changing the way we look at aging. Silver Sherpa is a lifestyle transitions company delivering specialized planning and coordination, advice to seniors and their families as they move through challenging times. Her credentials are equally impressive as her determination to help navigate care and financial processes. Please welcome to our show, Susan Hyatt. Hi, Susan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Victor. Thanks for inviting me.
I know you've been working in a healthcare-related field for many, many years, but why did you start Silver Sherpa?
Well, I started Silver Sherpa actually when my own parents went into crisis, both in their late 80s in two different cities. And so I found it very difficult as a healthcare person who's an expert in the healthcare system, as well as a business leader. And I found it very difficult to find services that were comprehensive and coordinated and integrated for my own parents. So saw the business opportunity and the need for a professional services firm and started Silver Sherpa. So with the intent of Silver Sherpa was to keep a senior in their own village or within 5 to 10 kilometers of their own home, and a place where they could live with dignity and live with purpose on their own terms for the rest of their life. And it's very hard to do that if you have a parent in hospital and then they can't go back to their own home that they've lived in for 40 years.
And why do you believe that these services are so important?
Well, they're critically important because as our seniors age, they want to stay in their own village. They want the people around them that they trust, like their banker, like their financial planner, perhaps their lawyer, their local church. They want to stay in the village. And as they stay and grow and age in that village, it's better for them. They're healthier. They don't become socially isolated, which is a huge problem with seniors today. If you move them out of the village, there are some real dangers with social isolation, and we know it's not healthy.
And you help them navigate through all of these
Yes,
different challenges?
So the difference with Silver Sherpa, and when I started the company 4 years ago, I couldn't find a company that would provide professional planning and coordination services for seniors as they move through these major transitions. So from hospital to home to assisted living, for example. And so what we do is go in and assess the client in their home, and it's what the senior wants, it's not what someone else wants, and what their needs and wants are. And then we develop an action plan with goals and priorities on what their key needs are, and then help them navigate and work through that plan. So it may be, for example, major healthcare issues, multiple specialists and their health and wellness that's of issue. It could be that they've decided they can no longer live in their home. They may have had support from home care for a while, but now it's time to move to another step, which is more support. So then comes the whole issue of, well, what are the choices and what do we do? And more importantly, how much is this all going to cost?
So you said you started Silver Sherpa 4 years ago, and today, is there other companies that provide similar services like Silver Sherpa?
Well, actually, we're very unique. We're unique in North America, and I believe in the world. What's different about Silver Sherpa is this combination of healthcare expertise and business expertise, and we work in the local village. So our business model is related to villages, and then around that we wrap trusted partners. They could be a home care company, for example, your company that's a trusted partner. We could have a financial planner who's a trusted partner in that local village. We always make sure that our customers have choice and that they always have costed options around what's available, whether it's home care, it might be legal services, it might be financial services.
Okay, so if we could just make it a little bit more personal. So if my mom is afflicted with dementia or Alzheimer's, I would contact you. Walk me through, what would that look like?
So mom might be staying in her own home at the moment, but you're probably at a transition period. The reason you would call us for a consultation, and our consultations in the home are complimentary for an hour. We'll send a client solutions executive out to meet with your family and with you and your mom, most importantly. And you might be at that transition period where you say, you know what, we've done everything possible, but mom's disease is progressing and she really needs someone there 24 hours a day. And the cost of that might be $15,000 or $20,000. And as a family, you decide, you know, Mom, this is getting really expensive. We can't provide 24-hour care in the home any longer. So now we need to look at some options. So we start by saying, what does Mom want? Where would Mom, if she can't be at home, what's important to Mom? Perhaps she likes to garden. So if you're looking at opportunities with assisted living facilities and communities, for example, we'd want one with gardening and where Mom could get out and garden. Let's say that there are other issues that perhaps Mom likes music and she's lost her mobility and she's in a wheelchair. So we're looking for somewhere and services that would look after Mom and that would have programs that are talking about music, talking about the arts, that they would take her to concerts or she could do the things that she wants to do. So it all starts with Mom, really.
So Mom will always be the center of the topic based on her wishes.
You know, in the healthcare system today, I mean, I've worked in healthcare for 40 years, Victor, and you know how there's always the slogans about patients first. And in healthcare, we wonder sometimes about where the patient is actually, and there's all this talk about patient engagement. But if you really mean that, the first and foremost conversation should go on with Mom, because Mom or Dad are at the center of what we do.
And you know, I always approach this situation with me being the client.
Yes.
You know, I want my future services to be around me and my wishes.
That's
having said that, should people not be paying closer attention to their financial documentation? A power of attorney. A will is a little bit further down the road, but a power of attorney really is today, because our life could change tomorrow.
That's
so if you could
correct.
talk to us a little bit about that.
So part of what we look at is legal preparedness. It's part of smart aging. It's part of the smart aging assessment we do. So let's say that I had a stroke tomorrow, and which would be a terrible thing, but I couldn't speak and I couldn't write. If I don't have a power of attorney, no one knows what my wishes are. And now I can't speak and I can't write. I can't sign my checks at the bank. I can't do anything for myself. So that power of attorney document is really important to me because it's a legal document that identifies who is going to speak for me if I can't speak for myself.
So what happens in a situation where someone is put off doing their power of attorney and the stroke happens tomorrow?
The stroke happens tomorrow, there is no power of attorney. Then if you're in hospital, we revert to what's called the Substitute Decisions Act. And there's a tree, if you will, that lists who all the people are that the doctors will call to make decisions for you. So it starts with immediate family and then it goes down the tree. For example, your husband or your wife. If you don't have a husband or wife that's there, then the children. If you don't have the children, it works down the list to nieces and nephews. Now, me as an individual, I want control as I'm aging over who's going to speak for me if I become incapacitated or I can't speak for myself. And a lot of people will say to me, you know, I don't want my son speaking for me on personal care. I want my daughter, because my daughter would worry about what I look like, if I'm getting my hair done, you know, if I'm getting dressed properly. Well, then your daughter, you should consider putting your daughter as your power of attorney for personal care, or the person who's going to speak for you best.
Susan, I know that this is a topic that we can go on countless hours as we have in the past. So if somebody wanted more information, how would they contact you?
If they would first go to our website, the website is silversherpa.net. And Victor, that is the best way. There is a lot of information on our website. And if they go to the website, they'll see all the contact details. And remember also that anyone can request a 1-hour free complimentary consultation.
Thank you so much. We'll put that website up on the screen.
Thank
so
you.
our viewers can contact you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to About Seniors Talk TV. I'm your host, Victor Oliveira. In my field, I meet and coordinate home care services for countless individuals who have made their primary wish known: age in place at home for as long as possible. In the majority of instances, this wish is easy to fulfill. However, the discussion usually comes back to how much will it cost. Although home care is very affordable, it still means clients have to have cash flow to pay for these services. For those clients whose cash flow is limited but own their own home, there is a cost-effective option, meaning you remain in your home and use your home's equity to pay for your care for as long as you need it. My next guest is well known in the community and has branded herself as the Money Lady. She is a mortgage agent with a leading national mortgage broker since 2001. With extensive banking and mortgage financing experience. She's also one of the select certified reverse mortgage specialists for Home Equity Bank. Please welcome Angela Wong Liao. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Thank you, Victor.
So how long have you been in the financial business?
Oh, well, including my banking years, is over 40 years.
Over 40
I should
years.
be giving away my age now.
Over 40 years. So how did you get to be known as the Money Lady?
Oh, I decided that when I left the bank in 2001, and I decided I want to brand myself. And Money Lady works well as a mortgage agent.
Okay. So I understand that you do a lot of work with seniors in the community. We wanted to talk a little bit about reverse mortgage. Mm-hmm. High level, what is a reverse mortgage?
Well, a reverse mortgage is if the senior want to stay in the house, and they are basically is house rich, cash poor, and they need the money to finance the retirement. And this will be the best, to me, in my opinion, the best option for seniors, because it's very easy to qualify and no mortgage payment. But the senior must be 55 and over. And this product is actually quite different from a regular bank. In a regular bank, the older you are, the more they may not like you. But reverse mortgage is run by the Home Equity Bank, the only leading Schedule A bank who does reverse mortgage in Canada. They actually love you when you get older. The older you are, the more you get money from the equity of your house.
So certainly one of the advantages of remaining in your home, particularly with a reverse mortgage, is you increase your cash flow without the risk, because you stay in your own home and
Correct.
you enjoy the equity that continues to grow while you're in your home.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But what does the process look like? Walk us through an application process, because processes is the one thing that people are sort of apprehensive about, intimidated, you know, filling out questionnaires, applications. So walk us through, how do you handle it?
Well, it's actually a very simple process. It's not a lot different from a regular bank application. I usually take the application. Then what I do is I submit to a Home Equity Bank. And then they will come back and they will come up with all different kind of conditions, but conditions is very simple. For getting a reverse mortgage, all they need is their property tax is up to date, their home insurance is up to date, and then they have, of course, the appraisal report and showing that they have equity in the house. But you see, home equity bank is also very conservative because it really is an equity lending, so they have to be very conservative. So average person usually get maybe up to 33% of the appraisal value of the property, up to maybe maximum 50%. And then the other condition is the applicant must be living in the house, okay? So a lot of people ask me, I say, oh, well, it's a couple, and then the husband passed away, and then the survivorship of the wife. And yes, as long as the wife lives in the house, they can qualify for a reverse mortgage. And the interest rate is actually not a lot more different than a regular bank. Of course, it's slightly higher than the A lender. However, for B lender, actually the reverse mortgage is actually a lot, better pricing.
Okay, so let's work on resolving some mysteries. So when we first buy a home when we're younger, technically it's common knowledge that we don't own the house. The bank owns the house until we pay it off. So is it different when you're doing a reverse mortgage? Do you sign over the home to the bank, or are you still the registered legal owner?
You will always be the registered legal owner until the time you decided to say move to a senior home or you want to sell the property.
Okay, so you're not committed to that reverse mortgage process for 10, 20 years. You set those limits, or the borrower sets those limits?
The borrower set those limits.
Okay.
It's really depending. And the ideal thing is they should be, it's best for them if they stay in the reverse mortgage at least for 3 years, because the penalty for the first 2 years are very high. For the first year is 5%, the second year is 3%, and then after the third year is 3 months interest penalty. So it is always good if they can stay within the reverse mortgage for at least 3 years.
So it is a longer term planning process.
It's a good thing to have that as a longer term, but of course, if the senior decided to move into a senior home, the penalty is 50% of whatever the penalty rate at that time. And if the senior is not, say they passed away, and then the beneficiary, they want to sell the house to pay back the home equity bank, then that's actually no penalty.
So if somebody's doing this on a long term, is there a risk that they would actually be borrowing more than what their property is worth or valued at?
It is unlikely because of the conservative policy by home equity bank. As well, I say in an average senior, maybe 33% of the home equity that they can take out. So, and also, of course, in Toronto, the property in Toronto these days, they appreciate 13, 18, 19% in the past years. So the appreciation of sale also really offset whatever accrued interest that's been accumulated through the years when they have a reverse mortgage. However, obviously, if they have the reverse mortgage for a long time, and just like a regular client go to the bank, they keep on going to the bank and refinance, which they can refinance. Say, for example, the property now is worth $1 million, and 5 years down the road is worth $2 million. They want to go back to the home equity bank to refinance. Then maybe if they keep on refinancing, then they might have a challenge a little bit at the end, because it won't be a lot of equity left if you keep on drawing down.
So in an ideal world, people who are using a reverse mortgage are mortgage-free, but statistics do indicate that older seniors are running debt longer into their older years. So what if a person still has a mortgage on their property? What happens then?
Well, it's not a big issue because what they can do is they use the reverse mortgage to pay out the existing mortgage. Obviously, because it's a reverse mortgage and they have to be first lien on the property. So in other words, if they have existing small mortgage, say the house worth $1 million, they have like $50,000 mortgage in the house. And the seniors may be qualified over $400,000 equity.
So they actually use
They
the
can use
reverse
that to
mortgage to pay off their primary mortgage.
Correct.
And then continue to draw down based on their need.
Exactly.
Okay. Should this be used as a last resort?
Not really. Actually, a lot of financial planners start using reverse mortgage as alternative financing because a lot of people think, okay, I can get the home equity line of credit, but it is very difficult to get qualified for a home equity line of credit. You got to have the income to qualify. You got to have good credit rating. Reverse mortgage do not require that. It's a simple process. All they need is your property tax is up to date, your home insurance is up to date, the house is in good shape, and
You're
then
good to go.
You go. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Angela.
Thank you.
I know you and I have spoken about this on many occasions. I appreciate you coming onto the show and
Thank you.
educating our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
We'll be back after a short break. Thank you for watching this week's episode of About Seniors Talk TV. I would like to thank my guests today, Susan Hyatt of Silver Sherpa and Angela Wong Liao from Invis Inc. For more information about Silver Sherpa, you can visit www.silversherpa.net and www.moneylady.ca to learn more about reverse mortgages. Alternatively, you can contact me at volivera@inarcareservices.com. Thank you for watching.